it's MK, and I am back with another May I Scraplift You layout. Today I am scraplifting the amazing Virginia Walker. She is the owner of Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file shop. I also have decided that I'm going to do a little bit of mixed media with my star stencil, the same one that I used on yesterday's layout, but with a different paste this time. I have one little photo of my daughter, and then this gorgeous collection by Pink Fresh Studios, and I can't remember the name of the collection, but I know it's weird because it's a fall collection. Let me see if I can't find it. But I also have some Rosie Studios. Okay, the Pretty Little Studio collection is Grateful Heart. And then I have some Rosie Studios. Now, they're just acetate flowers and things like that that are from this Rosie Studio collection, but I don't know the name of it either. But it's just these, oh, and they're not acetate, I'm sorry, they're vellum. But I do have the cut apart sheet from Pretty Little Studios as well, the little Grateful Heart collection. I pulled out several embossing folders, you guys. Didn't even know I still had embossing folders, to be honest. And then 2 pieces of white cardstock, because from what I saw in Virginia's layout that's how she put it together, but I still, like I said, I don't go watch the video until after I've already recreated my version of it. I also have these really old vellum colored sheets. Now I have pink, purple, yellow, and blue, even though when they look on top of each other they look like a gray, but I plan on running them through my star die cuts first, and then these 4 embossing folders, and I just picked well, actually, I end up only going with 2. I picked a polka dot one and a striped one. The others I choose not to do, but I do have several different star companies die cuts. Sorry, I forgot the word for a second. I have got some from Spellbinders, some from Stampin' Up, and I believe one from, oh, help me out here, the fawn, a little fawn, lawn fawn. Okay, so I did the background piece of white cardstock in this star, as well as in this glacier paste. I'm sorry, you guys. I am tripping over my words today. Then I took my Cricut and cut a 10-inch circle out of the center of this piece of cardstock, and I'm going around the entire perimeter in order to make the paste go through the stencil, just so that way when I lay down all these stars, I've got a little bit of that paste peeking out, which is one of the things I absolutely loved about Virginia's layout. Now, her layout will be popping up in the upper right-hand corner as soon as I get to actually making the layout, but because my hands are moving all over the place on this, in this area of the video or the recording, I decided not to pop it up just yet. But as I was placing all of these stars, it took me a hot minute to realize that she stitched around all of the stars, because I thought, how am I going to glue all these in? And the people that I working with at the retreat while I was making this, for one, they were like ooh and awing all over because they thought it was pretty cool. And then I realized that I had to stitch everything down, and they're like, well, they didn't even know that Virginia's was stars. They thought it was just like tulle wrapped around to make it look like a tutu. And I thought, well, that's really cool too. Never even thought of that. But I was trying to figure out how to get my stars to temporarily stay in place until I got home to use my sewing machine. So I decided to put washi tape on the around the outside. Oh my gosh, you guys, words are hard today. So on the inside, still can't say it. On the inside of my circle, I barely put any washi tape because I was hoping that I left enough space to where when I run my machine over, the washi tape holds the stars, but then everything else gets stitched underneath, and I'm not stitching through the washi and getting my needle all gummy and sticky. So I'm continuing to do more work at the retreat on what I can. And I'm taking some of those Pretty Little Studios cut apart cards, and I'm going to back my photo with these. Now, this is one of my favorite things to do with cut apart cards, project life cards, pocket life cards, whatever they are called nowadays. I I tend to avoid them at all cost and not bring any more into my stash, because I destashed several of them, and I just choose not to bring any more in because of the fact that I don't use them except for in this manner, which I kind of think is a waste. So what I was trying to do here, because most of this pinky purple color will be covered up by my daughter's photo, I decided to cut out that hexagon geometric shape, thinking that maybe I'll use it somewhere else. I probably just threw it away, in all honesty. So I don't know why I just didn't cut it at a diagonal and do this to it. So anyways, so yeah, I made more work for myself. But here's where I got smart and decided I'm just going to start cutting them at a diagonal instead of trying to save the centers of them. And I'm just working the corners because for Virginia's layout, she has several layers, but I think she does the exact same thing. Well, I'm guessing, because again, I haven't watched her video yet. But that's what I can see, is that she just barely uses any paper behind, or any of it is barely showing if she uses a full sheet. So for this one here, I'm just taking the stripes because I didn't want to cut the card in half. I honestly just wanted it to look like it was only going across the layout instead of around the layout. The other pieces, I wanted them to look like they were going around the layout, or not layout, oh my gosh, photo, instead of just across. And so for the striped one, I just went ahead and made it look like it was just going to go across. And I'm using it to cover up the corners of my other cards, so now they look like full-size pieces instead of little corners sticking out. And then I decided I was going to see if I had a purpose for this round portion of the card, or I should say label, round label type of deal, even though I did kind of rip the corners a little bit. So, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, you guys. That was rude. I apologize. But I am going to see if I can't cover it up a little bit. So I'm trying to bring in all this color because all of these colors are in the vellum pieces in the stars going around my layout. And in all honesty, I'm having a hard time using up this collection, as gorgeous as it is, and as terrible as that is for me to admit. I love this collection. I had to have this collection, but now I don't know what to do with it. And I feel like that when I have to have like a girly collection from Cocoa Vanilla as well. I feel the exact same way. I love it. I want it. I have to have it. But then once I get it, what do I do with it? And I have no idea. So I'm trying to use this collection. And I thought that this was absolutely perfect because, for one, I don't really have any other collections that matched that vellum except for this one. So I thought, oh, perfect. Great excuse. All right, so off camera, I went ahead and I cut out this cut apart card that says Love This on it. And I just wanted to use Love This as my title. And then I wanted to use the floral pieces from the Pretty Little Studios. But then I started putting these vellum pieces in, and I absolutely loved how they looked, even though now I'm bringing in some green. But I still love how they look and how they peek around and they match the vellum stars, and they were just perfect. So I also have to admit that this is a little bit choppy because I got to talking and enjoying the retreat a little bit. So I did have to cut a bunch of that out because you don't want to stare at my hands just moving around, because I talk with my hands, in case you're curious. So yeah, I decided to go ahead and cut a bunch of that out too, because it is me I stop everything just to have a visit. So you guys, I had so much fun at this retreat. I cannot tell you how great it was to not feel like I was in a hurry to get there, spend 2 days there, and come home. It was just great to relax and enjoy being at this retreat with all these lovely ladies. It really was. It was amazing. All right, so I also found this little heart hanging out with all these flowers. I did not know that was in there, but it works really well with the title, Love This. So I thought I would put that in there and sneak that in. And then once I get home and sew the background, ta-da, it is, you'll see how that heart intertwines with the with the title later. Okay, so now there's a huge debate at the retreat of whether or not I should cut out those stars like Virginia did or leave them all hanging around. Well, if I left them all hanging around, they kind of sort of take up the design of the layout, and I thought, oh, I kind of like them all cut out. So what I did was I cut apart all the ones that are going to be hidden by my photo to see if I even liked it. And truth be told, I liked it, you guys. So I cut off all the stars. I really did. Even though I was begged not to at the retreat, I did because I liked it. And so I'm going to go ahead and finish putting the layout together and compare my layout to Virginia's. And one of the things that I'm noticing now is she had a third cluster up at the top of the top right of her circle, and I forgot to put paste down for that cluster to go underneath that cluster. And so I thought, nah, it should be fine. I have enough paste. It should be just fine. Okay, so I'm going to put the two pieces together and fluff up my stars so they're kind of got a little bit of dimension going on underneath them. But I cut all my fingernails off, and in all honesty, I couldn't get past the paste that I put through the stencil. And so I was having a hard time getting my fingers underneath the vellum. And because I already did everything at the retreat, this layout comes together pretty fast. But I do love how it all fell into place. So I pulled out another little label. I'm not really sure exactly what my plan is for that, but I thought that this label would be great to finish off this circle piece because I don't have a separation between my photo, the title, and the other cluster. So it's all going to be one giant cluster falling off the photo, basically. And then I'm going to have another cluster up at the top just because that's what Virginia did. So I'm copycatting. That's what I'm doing. And I do love how all these stars look. It's just beautiful, you guys. I love this layout. I love Virginia's layout. And it is so simple. I do have to go and get some more Rosie Studios puffy stars that I knew I had. I just didn't know where they were. So I'm going to go and grab those here in a few minutes. But I don't have a small flower to go up at the top. So I'm just going to think about putting that little leaf under there. Here's the Rosie Studios puffy stars that I went and got. These have been in my stash for quite a while, in all honesty. And I thought the pink ones would be perfect to add to this layout because when else am I going to use those pink ones, which are peachy pink, especially compared to the pink I'm actually using. Those stars were definitely peachy, on the peachy side. So I decided to start using some gray stars and bring in another color because I don't have white thread for my sewing machine. So I had a gray circle sewn around, and bringing in these gray stars actually really work with the stitching. And I thought, oh my gosh, this actually looks fairly good in my point of view. And they kind of sort of look like an in-between of the blue and the purple. It's kind of weird how that worked out. But yes, I do enjoy that. And then I had my son go and get me some of these butterflies. Now these butterflies are Cocoa Vanilla Bohemian Dream. No, they're not. I lied. I apologize. They're for Unforgettable, the Unforgettable collection. I just sat at the retreat and fussy cut an entire 12 by 12 sheet of butterflies because I ran out of embellishments to go into the store. So when you place an order at my store, I try to put in an embellishment. There were a couple orders that went out without some because my kids didn't know that they were supposed to get some. So if you didn't get one, I apologize. That's when my kids help me and they don't know the order of things. But then I ran out right before I went to the retreat, and I thought, oh, the retreat would be perfect for me to just sit and do a bunch of embellishments. So I fussy cut the butterflies, did the embellishments, and now I have leftover butterflies. And because I was adding gray to this layout, I decided that I was going to add some gray butterflies. Now, Virginia had only one butterfly up in the upper right corner, or embellishment, the upper right embellishment, and I decided to add a few more pieces in. I was getting ready to show you guys the close-ups when I remembered that I hadn't glued my little green piece down. Why that had to go up there, I don't know. Probably so I had 3 clusters of green. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But I do love how all of these stars not only are around the perimeter of the circle, but then they kind of fall into the circle, and then the puffy stars kind of fall out of the circle. I just love that, you guys. I love the mix of it. I really do. And then, of course, I'm looking at Virginia's a little bit closer, and it looks like she added some sort of sequins as well. Either that or they were very glossy Nouveau drops. I'm not really sure. But they turned out pretty, and I thought, oh, maybe I need to do that too. And I thought, no, I'm good. I'm going to leave it right here where it's at. And that is it. That is my lift for today. I thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and me losing my words, because that never happens. Be sure to check out everyone else that is playing along for today, as well as whatever day of the week it is. Go check down below on the list. And I also have Virginia's link, not only for the video of how she put her layout together, but also for the Copa cut file shop, in case you guys are curious at checking out her cut files, because I do hops with her a lot, and I absolutely love how versatile her cut files are. So even though we're doing like maybe a birthday hop, I could take a birthday cut file and turn it around and use it for an everyday layout and things like that. So I absolutely love how versatile her layouts are, or her cut files are. So be sure to check that out as well. All right, thank you so much, and I'll check y'all later. Bye.